If you've been automating your business for a while, you probably are using Zapier. I used to jokingly call it the super glue of entrepreneur businesses because it's the thing that makes everything be able to talk to each other and create these awesome automations. I've been using Zapier for a really long time, but I got really tired of the bill for Zapier. And I also hated that all of a sudden something would break and then I wouldn't quite know how to fix it. And I would maybe need to hire somebody to come in and look at it and like troubleshoot. And it sometimes is a headache. And every entrepreneur I talk to say that they have this love-hate relationship with Zapier. So I thought, can we automate things with Claude? And the answer is yes, you totally can. So today I'm going to be showing you how you can create your own version of Zapier, which really is just connecting two different programs together and having it do something. It's doing some sort of task. So to do this, I'm going to walk you through what I call Relay, and I'm going to show you how mine is set up, and then I'm going to give you all of the tools and everything and all the instructions of how you can create this for yourself as well. So let me show you Relay. So here's Relay. This is what we had built out. These are all the different automations that I have inside of my business. And we'll just go ahead and look at this one right here. So I use Ontraport as my CRM. So this has when a tag comes in for our inner circle, it will then give them access to Heartbeat. Heartbeat is our platform that we use for all of our courses. That's where our free community is. And I'm actually going to be showing you inside Heartbeat in just a second. But what this is going to do is when someone purchases something inside Ontraport, it's going to give them a tag saying that they're in the inner circle, and then it's going to give them access to the inner circle inside our platform. So super easy. This is something that you would use Zapier for, have it set up. I had this set up in Zapier, but now I have it set up in my own Relay, and it just will then run all of the automations. So looking through this, you can set this up like I can create a new workflow. So I can come here, I can just name this test. Then I can choose what the trigger is going to be. I can choose, so let's say we choose instead, we're gonna do Heartbeat. We can choose, here's all the groups that it's in. And the thing that I like about this is Heartbeat, both Ontraport and Heartbeat are ones that don't really have a lot of connections. Zapier has the most options for it, but if I try to do it inside Make or Integrately or some of the other ones that are like cheaper than Zapier, Ontraport and Heartbeat didn't have as many options as they do inside Zapier. So I was stuck having to use Zapier for these two because I picked two platforms that aren't really documented that well. But the nice thing about this is that you can have it do whatever you want because you can have Claude go in, read all the documentations, read everything about the API, and I actually can do more things now inside Relay than I even could inside Zapier because it is totally open through all of the things that the API can use. Now, if that is a little bit over your head, don't worry. What this is just saying is that I can do more things with what I built than I could with other tools. So that's how you would then set it up. Then you can click, here's our next step, and you can just keep adding steps. You can add filters. You can see there's filters here, there's delays. So you can really set up this workflow however you want. Then I have connections. So here you can see all the connections that I have. These are all just the connections that I'm using. You can add more connections than this, but I only wanted to have connections of platforms that I'm actually using, and then it shows how it's connected. So here's, I have it connected to my Google Calendar. You can do Jotforms, TidyCal, like whatever it is that you want to connect to, you can then create the connections here. Now, let me show you how you actually set this up, because if you're watching this, you probably already know a little bit about Zapier, how it works. So this makes sense to you, but I'm sure you're thinking, well, how do I create my own like this? Inside our community, the AI Ops Yacht Club, there is a link below for you to join. You're going to come here to library, and then I am here inside the AI treasure chest, and you'll see this right here, build your own Zapier. So this walks you through the steps of what you need. So you're going to need Claude Code. So this is on the $100 a month plan that you need for Claude in order to make this work. Now, I know right now you're probably thinking, well, maybe I'm only spending $60 a month on Zapier. Why would I then spend $100 a month on Claude Code? Well, You can do so many other things with Claude Code. And if you are ever hitting limits when you're using Claude, this is going to help it so you don't hit those limits. And so I look at $100 a month to use Claude on the Max plan. It really is, it replaces so many of my other tools that it's worth the $100 to spend. So then you have your Zapier account, and then if there's anything else that you need to connect to. So to install this, all you need to do is download right here. This is the Relay Kit. All you need to do is download that. Then you can just tell Claude Code that you have this already set up, and it will install this plugin. So to do this, I use VS Code. If you haven't seen this before, this is Visual Studio Code. This just makes using Claude Code a lot easier, and you can have different sessions here across the top. So it's free. You just download this, and then you can choose to connect it to Claude. Then you'll see down here on the side right here, there's the little Claude Code icon. You'll click on that. You'll click New Session. And then you could just say, in my downloads folder, I have the Relay Kit zip file. I want you to open that and I want you to install it. By doing that, then it's going to go through and it's going to ask to connect to your Zapier. How this is built is that it's going to go right into your Zapier account. It's going to look at all the different Zaps that you have already set up, and then it's going to rebuild all of those. So you don't have to say like, okay, let's say you have 200 different Zaps that you have built out. It's going to go through, see everything that you have, and then it's going to rebuild that and make sure it has all the connections. Now, the way that you are going to automate your business, everyone automates a little bit differently. And so how you have it built out is going to be how this is going to actually be built for you. So this is very custom to exactly how your business is run. You're just going to go through, it's going to ask you questions. It's going to say, all right, I need to connect to this. And then it may ask you to get, let's say it needs an API code. And you're like, okay, I don't know what that is. And I don't know how to do that. All you need to do is say, walk me through step by step exactly how to give you the information that you need. And it will walk you through step by step how to do it. Once you have that set up, then it's going to give you a link that you'll be able to come to be able to see what your relay looks like. And then what I did, all of these were turned off when it first got set up. And then I went through and I tested. So I had a test user that I went through and I started testing each one. If you run into any issues, then you just say, I tested this workflow and it didn't work. And it will go through and figure out why, and it will fix it all for you. Once you have this all set up, then I tell Claude, so I'm back here in VS Code, and I tell Claude, I want you to watch Relay, and if there are any errors, I want you to read those errors, and then I want you to fix them. That's the magic of this, because you know, if you've been using Zapier for a long time, that there are sometimes errors that happen and you're not really sure why that happens and how you can even fix it. And if the errors happen too many times, it just turns off the workflow and now your automations stop working. Well, this makes it so that way you have Claude watching those. So anytime that there is an error, it sends it to Claude. Claude figures out why that's happening. It goes in and fixes it and makes it keep working. So now you're creating an automated system that is working over and over and making sure that if there's any errors, it's just going to fix it and you don't have to worry about it and your business can just run automatically. This has been a game changer for the last about week or so that I've been using it. And so I wanted to make sure I made this video to show you the awesome things that you can do with Claude. And this is just one example. So on that $100 a month plan, you can think of all of the other things of maybe you're using some software that you want to stop using and you can just recreate it inside Claude. There are so many uses for this. And if you want to learn more about how you can use Claude to automate things in your business, we do have a membership that walks you through all of these step-by-step how to use both Claude Chat, Cowork, and Claude Code. So the link for that is also going to be in the description. If you have any questions about this as you're implementing it, make sure you put them down in the comments. And if you liked this video and you want more videos like this, make sure that you subscribe and turn on that notification so that way you know when we come out with new videos. And as always, make sure when you're building with AI, it's strategy first and AI second.